Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to be talking about opposites, additive inverses, and the zero pair. You should remember opposites from last year. Remember, opposites are just two numbers that are the same distance away from zero. If you need to, please write down that definition in your notebook. Opposites are two numbers that are the same distance from zero. So 2 and -2 are opposites because they're both 2 units away from zero. 2 and -2 have the same absolute value, so they are opposites. So then, what are additive inverses and the zero pairs we're talking about? Basically the same thing. Let me show you. We're going to start with the problem 2 plus -2. So we are adding two numbers that are opposites. Now we're going to start by doing this on a number line, and you need to make sure that you are also copying down the number lines as I go. But when you do your own problems, we're not always going to make you show it on a number line. It's a good way to start though. So we're going to start at the 2, and we are going to add -2. So we're going to go 2 units in the negative direction because we're adding -2. So we're going to go 1, 2 in the negative direction, and we end back at 0. Well, let's use the commutative property to see if this is the same if we use -2 plus +2. So again, I want to try to show the number line for this. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself a number line. This time I need to start at -2 because now my problem is starting at -2. And I'm adding +2, so I want to go 2 units towards the positive direction. And look at that. I am landing again at 0. Let's see if we can start with the same problem with markers. So here I'm starting with my 2 positive markers, which I'm showing as my yellow markers. I need to add to that 2 negative markers. So now I've added my 2 red markers, which I'm showing to be my negative markers. And notice that what I have is 2 zero pairs. Whenever you have a positive and a negative, they make a zero pair. So So this +1 and -1 make a 0, and this +1 and -1 together make a 0. So together my answer is still 0. Here is my next problem, +7 plus -7. For this example, I'm only going to do it one way, and I'm going to use the number line. Make sure you copy down the number line. Now for this problem, I need to start at +7 because my expression starts at +7. I need to go 7 units towards the negative direction because I'm adding 7 negatives. So I'm going to go 7 units towards the negative direction, and look at that. I land again at the 0. So this is 2 examples now where I've added opposites and ended with 0. That is not a coincidence. The definition of additive inverse is a number when added to another number equals 0. The definition of zero pairs is when you have equal sets of positive and negatives and you're adding them together, it will equal 0. We're going to take a second to write down the definition. Please make sure that these definitions are in your notebook. Now, additive inverses, opposites, and zero pairs all basically mean the same thing, but we use them slightly different. So we would say that if you add 2 opposites, they equal 0. We could say that a number and its additive inverses have a sum of 0. And we could say if you have 2 opposites, they form a zero pair. So they all basically mean the same thing, but it's good to know all 3 terms because we do use them in slightly different ways. Again, please make sure you have these definitions in your notebook. Now I'm going to leave you to do your Google form. I appreciate you watching this video, and I hope you have a great evening. If you have any questions, please make sure you ask your teacher in class tomorrow.